Okay, so this is problem number 7 on practice test 1. We skipped it yesterday so we could do our word problems. Everybody is going to be able to do this problem, but some of you are going to be able to do it differently than others. So everybody should go to your math button right here, and arrow down or just scroll down and see if you have something called log base. If you have that, go ahead and press it, and when you press it, it gives you the option of filling in these boxes with 7 and 19. So you're just going to do that. Okay, just going to do that. I don't have that option. That button is not on my calculator, so no big deal. I will type log 19 divided by log 7. So log of the top number over log of the bottom number. And no matter how you do it, whether you do it this is the old-fashioned way, or whether you do it with your newfangled calculator, you will come up with 1.513 as your answer. Okay? Now, everybody can type it in this way. So if you're not sure about the other way, then just type it in this way. The log of the top number over the log of the bottom number. Okay? There's no math to do, no work to do. Just type it in. All right, now this one is going to require some work. What are we going to do first in this problem? Divide. Absolutely, we're going to divide. Now, where is our exponent? Where's our variable? Our variable is the exponent. And what does that always mean? I need logarithms. So I'm going to take the logarithm of both sides. And the magic of that is the x now comes out in front, which is wonderful because now all I have to do is divide by log 8 and I'll have my answer. So log 12/5 divided by log 8 and 0.421 is what we should all come up with. Okay? All right, one more. Take a look at this guy. What do you think we'll do first? What do we always do first?
Divide.
Divide. So we're going to divide by -2. So we have e to the 3.8x equal to 6. Where's our variable? In the exponent again, right? So what does that mean? If your variable's in the exponent, you're going to use logarithms. And instead of LOGing, because there's an e in there, we'll ln. Because what happens when an ln and an e are touching each other? They cancel. That ln does not cancel. That stays ln. So 3.8x equals ln 6. And then we will divide by 3.8. And everybody should get 0.472. Okay. All right. On to practice test 2. Set your calculators aside. The first part of your test will be no calculator, but I am going to let you use a baby calculator for the first part. So we're not using our calculators for this first part. Okay, so practice test 2, here we go. Consider this equation. Is it growth or decay? Decay. What is the percent growth or decay? Be careful. 39%. 39%. 100 minus 61. 39, right? What is the initial value? 0.82. All right, everybody good? Got that one? Okay. Now we're going to write the equation of an exponential. What does an exponential look like? Y equals a times b to the x. And the good news is we already know that a is 1/2. So now what? Plug in x and y, so 81/2 equals 1/2, whoops, b to the 4th. Okay, now we gotta solve it, so what do you think we ought to do to solve it? What? Divide by 1/2 or multiply by 2. Whatever's easiest for you, that's gone. So we have b to the 4th equals 81. And now we have the 4th root. In other words, we have to figure out what number do I multiply times itself 4 times and get 81? 3. So b is 3. And our answer is y equals 1/2, 3 to the x.
You have to put in parentheses?
No. Gotta have it something in there, that's a times sign or something. Okay? All right, now we have this whole list of problems. None of these are calculated. We're going to do all these without a calculator. So I'm going to take a quick look. Let's look at problem D. D. You better be able to write down the answer to D. What is it? -6. Because if an ln and an e are in direct contact with each other, they're gone. The answer is -6. How about G? 12. The answer to G is 12, right? If you're sitting there staring at it, you haven't studied it all, that's a property, the answer is 12. And then J, what's the answer to J? 6. Okay, so I just did 3 problems in about 2 seconds. All right, now the rest of them are going to require a little work. Let's go back to problem A. What are we going to do with this guy? He has a negative exponent. So 1/81. What does a 3/4 exponent mean? It means a radical. And the radical is a 4th root cubed. Well, I just did this. The 4th root of 81 was 3. So this is 1/3. It's 1/81, so it's 1/3. And then I have to cube it. So my final answer is 1/27. How about 2 to the -3rd? It's kind of the same but easier. 2 to the -3rd is 1/2 cubed. And 1/2 cubed is 1/8. Next one, 16/9 to the -2nd. What do I do? Flip it, so 9/16. And then I square it. So I take 9 times 9 and 16 times 16. And you will have a baby calculator on this, so if you have trouble with 16 times 16. Alright, what about E now? E is a logarithm, log base 5 of 25. And my job is to figure out what it equals. I like to set it equal to x, that's what I'm trying to figure out. What does it equal? Because then I see a loop-de-loop. So 5 to what power is 25? So it looks like the answer is 2. F, there's a lot going on. Every time we do one of these, I tell you that my preferred method is to clean all this up first. You don't have to do that, but that's how I'm gonna do it because I think it is easiest that way, but you might have a different opinion and that's okay. 3 and 4 don't do anything. What's happening here though with my x's? They are actually going to switch places because they're both negative. So I'm gonna have 4 of them on the top and 3 of them on the bottom. Would you agree with that? Well, wait a minute. What's gonna happen with that? If there's 4 on the top and 3 on the bottom, there'll be just 1 left on the top because they'll cancel. And then what about the y's? On the top? And then don't forget, I still have to square it. I haven't done that yet. So now I'll square everything. So I have 9 and 16, 3 squared and 4 squared. And then just x squared and y squared. That wasn't so hard.
Could you square it first?
Yeah, absolutely could.
Okay.
Yep. Log 1/10 equals x. I want to figure out what does this equal. So what's the base here? So 10 to what power is 1/10? Does everybody see that's what this problem is saying? Okay, now wait a minute. How do you get 1 over? Negative. And since it's just a 10, isn't x just negative 1? 10 to the negative first, 1 over 10. And then finally 3/4 to the negative second. 4/3 to the second. So the answer is 16. All right, feel pretty good about that page? All right, still no calculator. We are going to solve some equations, not using our calculator. So what do you think we ought to do with this first one? Loop-de-loop. So 4 cubed equals x plus 1. Everybody do that. 4 to the third is x plus 1. What's 4 to the third? 64. That's 4 times 4 times 4. So it looks like if I subtract 1, x is 63. Now the next one. What's step 1? Divide by 4, right? So 3 to the x equals 9. Now, I have programmed you that when you see x in your exponent, you're going to use logarithms, but not without a calculator, guys. Remember, we have no calculator here, so I don't want to be putting logarithms in. Instead, what do I notice about the problem? 3 squared is 9, right? So x equals 2. Don't be putting logarithms in the no calculator part. unless you have your logarithms memorized, which I'm sure you don't. No one does. Alright, letter C, another equation. Divide by 3. Loop-de-loo. We know the base is 10. So 10 to the second is x, and our answer is 100. Alright, next one. Looks kind of scary. Let's see what's going on here. What do you think is step 1 on this guy? Divide by 27. So 1/3 to the 2x equals, let's see, is it 9?
Yeah.
It's 9. Remember, you will have a baby calculator, so you can do that on that calculator. 9? Okay, now again, I know that's my variable, but I'm not going to take the log of both sides. Okay, I can't do that without a calculator. So what do I have to do?
Break it down.
Break it down so that they have the same base. Now I have a 1/3 and I have a 9. What might be a good base to use? 2? 3? 3? Because 1/3 is 3 to the negative first, isn't it? Gotta remember your negative exponents. 1/3 is 3 to the negative first, and 9 is 3 squared. And as soon as you make these both into 3's, we're gonna solve an equation from our exponents. So negative 2x equals 2, and it looks like x equals negative 1. Negative 2x equals 2. So x equals negative 1. Yeah.
Could you do the same thing, but just make, for 9, could you just use -3? Or -2?
Yeah, negative
Make it
2.
1/3
It'd be
instead.
1/3 to the negative 2. Yeah, and make your common base 1/3, absolutely. Yep, the answer will come out to be the same. All right, next one. They're getting a little more involved here. Gotta make one logarithm. These have to go together, we gotta make one logarithm. So it's gonna be the log base for something equal to 1. What's gonna happen inside that parentheses? Multiply. Multiply these two together. So 3x plus 3, that's a distributive. Are you okay with that? 3x plus 3. Now what? Loop-de-loo. So 4 to the first equals 3x plus 3. Well, 4 to the first is just 4. So I'll subtract 3 and divide. Did you get 1/3?
You just drop the log.
What?
You just get rid of the log.
You loop-de-loo. Loop-de-loo gets rid of the log. 4 to the first
Oh.
equals 3x plus 1. You can't just erase the logarithm, but you can loop-de-loo it, and that gets rid of it. Alright. What about this one? is this gonna start the same way? What's gonna go in the parentheses? These have got to be combined. That one's okay, cause there's only one of them, but these two have got to go together. What's gonna be in here? 18x plus 9, it's another multiplication. Now, I just got done telling somebody you can't just drop the log. You can't just drop one log, but if you have one on each side, then you can. Now, do not drop the log in the very beginning. You can't drop 3 logs, okay? That you can't do. But once you get log equals log, you can drop those off. That is the only situation. So make sure it's log equals log. Then you can drop them off. And 18x plus 9 equals 3. 18x equals negative 6. And I got negative 1/3. Did I do that math correctly?
No.
Perfect. All right, what about G? What are we gonna do with that one? Oh, loop-de-loo it. You give me one logarithm, I'm gonna loop-de-loo every time. What's my base? E. So e to the third equals 2x?
Is that it?
No, I gotta have x equals.
Well,
So x will equal e cubed divided by 2. And that's it. We're solving for x. All right, last one. If I had my calculator, I'd log both sides, but I don't have a calculator, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to turn 4 and 32 into the same number. What would be a good choice? 2? 2? So 4 is 2 squared. 2 squared. And 32 is 2 to the,
fifth.
it's 2 to the 5th. You may have that memorized, you may not. You can figure it out. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is 32. And then as soon as these are both 2's, you can get rid of them and solve that equation. So 2x equals 5 and x equals 5/2. It's almost time to get the calculators out, but not quite. We still need to write this as one logarithm. So in other words, it's gonna be log something. Since that's a plus, there's gonna be a multiply in here, right? What am I gonna be multiplying? X squared and y cubed. Why am I multiplying that? Because this is an exponent. So I am multiplying x squared and y cubed. Right? All right. Now I'm doing the opposite. I have to expand this. Now when you expand, that means write out more than one logarithm. You're gonna have a log for each letter. So I'm gonna have a log x, a log y, and a log z. Each letter is gonna get its own logarithm when I'm expanding it. And then I have to figure out where to go from there. So what do you think? What's gonna go in between here? Add, and that's being added because that is being multiplied. And then that's gonna be a subtract because that was a division, right? And there wasn't, but let's say there'd been a squared on that x. If there'd been a squared on that x, where would that show up? Out here in front, right? All right, now get your calculators out. And number 7, we gotta find the log base 5 of 10. Figure out what that equals. So we talked about this at the beginning. Some of you are gonna have a special button and you're just gonna plug in the 5 and the 10. I am gonna have to do log 10 divided by log 5. Everybody type this in one way or the other, and you should get one. How am I rounding? Doesn't say. Let's do 1,000. So 1.431. Did everybody get that? Everybody needs to get that, okay. All right, next one. Here we go, step 1. Divide. So 2 to the x equals 5, because I'm dividing both sides by 3. Now, a minute ago, I did a problem that looked just like that without my calculator, because that number was something like an 8. Now I have to use my calculator. Since the variable is the exponent, I will log both sides. And when I do that, what happens to the x? It comes out in front, so I can now just divide and get my answer. So log 5 divided by log 2. I got 2.322 if I round to the nearest thousandth. You okay with that? Everybody typing it in with me? Last one on this page, then we'll do our word problems. Step 1. Divide. So e to the 0.13x equals 12/5. ln both sides. Everybody okay with that? We need a logarithm because our variables are up there, but since there's an e, we'll just use ln because that will cancel this, just this. So 0.13x equals ln 12/5, and then be at x, we'll take ln 12/5 and divide it by 0.13. So let's everybody type that in, make sure we can. $6.734 is what I got. Okay. All right, here we go. Your word problem. My formula's up here. All right, there we go. Let's read problem number 1 for A, 8A. Which formula, top or bottom? Bottom. So I want to double an investment.
Pick a number.
Pick a number. So what do you want to pick? 5. So if we start with 5, then we're gonna end up with 10. Start with 5, end up with 10. What's my question? What is R? I don't know what R is, but I am compounded monthly. And I'm gonna do it for 11 years. Does that look okay to everybody? Well, the first thing I'm gonna do is multiply that 12 and 11. Because I don't like having that double exponent, so make that 132. Okay, now what? Divide by 5, so this is just gonna be 2. Now, am I gonna use logarithms? No. I only use logarithms when my x is up here, and it's not. We had one like this yesterday. I'm gonna root both sides. And what that will do is get rid of that power so that I can get my r. Now, what root am I gonna take? The 132th root. So I need the 132th root of 2. Now, that is a hideous thing, but I can do it on my calculator. So I'll do it on my calculator in a minute. Once I get that number figured out,
That's not right.
won't I subtract 1 and then times by 12? All right, let's try it. So 132nd root of 2 minus 1 times 12. See if you came out with 0.0632. Which would be about 6.2 or 32%. All right? So let's find the 132nd root of 2. Make sure everybody can do that. Some of you on your calculator, when you're going to press your X root button, and some of you, when you press that button, it allows you to just fill in the boxes. So you just fill them in. That button is in the math menu. Math. Find that button. I don't have that capability, so I type 132. Then I type that button. I do have that button. It just doesn't give me boxes. I just have that plain button. And then 2. And when you do that, you should get 1.005. So let's all get that number. Okay? Everybody get that number. However you do it on your own calculator. So we got 1.005. That's this guy right here. I need R. So pretend you're in 7th grade and you're solving that equation. You subtract 1 from your 1.005. Subtract the 1 over, hit equals. Then you're going to times by 12. And that's going to give you this number right here. Right? Now, when somebody says, what's the interest rate, that means a percentage. So I just changed my decimal into a percent. Next problem. What formula am I going to use for the next problem? Same one, yep. So how much will be in the account if $10,000 is invested at .02175. Remember, no percents in the equation. Percents can be in the problem, they can be in the answer, but not in the equation. The equation is a decimal, 0.02175, compounded quarterly for 12 years. So I'm gonna go ahead and make that a 48. Right? And then I'm just going to type it in. Do I need logarithms? Do I need any fancy buttons? No, I'm just gonna type it in. So 10,000, parentheses 1 plus, 0.02175 divided by 4, close parentheses, raised to the 48. Did you get $12,973.10? We like that kind. All right, last one. The last one is going to be your PERT formula. So 432 become 987 in 15 hours. Remember, start, end. So I start with 432, I end with 987. All right, step 1, divide. So 987 over 432, something. Now notice, where's my variable? Exponent. So you're gonna need logarithms, but since the problem has an e in it, we'll use our ln logarithm. So ln 987 over 432 equals 15r. And then I'll just take that thing, ln 987 over 432, and divide that by 15. And I got 0.055. Is that what you got? Okay. Just to give you a little rundown, just to make sure everybody's clear, I don't see you tomorrow. Of course, Monday's Christmas on the Hill. So we'll do our last review on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, we have about half a period before you leave class. So our test is Thursday. We will begin our exam review on Wednesday before you leave class. Yeah, when it's a growth constant, you can change it to a percent if you want, but you don't have to. Because growth constants can be decimals.
Miss Ford,
Yep,
what homework did you do today?
I don't know, look at the canvas.
3/6 I believe.
Now,
It's like, you said 3.5 and 3.6. I just want to confirm.
yeah, they'll do the same day. Okay, I am gonna go ahead and pass out your exam review materials. I'm gonna have some help, because there's 3 of them. We are not gonna, because of the schedule and the way the days are,